The 27 Club has become one of the most intangible and remarkably tragic coincidences in rock and roll history. The 27 Club is a list of famous musicians who all died coincidentally at the age of 27. To name a few: Robert Johnson, Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Ron McKernan, Pete Ham, Kurt Cobain, and Amy Winehouse. Most people think it's just a coincidence off the bat. I could make up something new like the 36 Club, and it would be the same thing. It's just another list of people that just happen to die at the age of 36. Well, supposedly, this is different. This seemed like a coincidence to a lot of people until those people looked further. The coincidence started when Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison all died at the age of 27 between the years 1969 and 1971. At the time, the coincidence gave rise to some comment, but it was not until Kurt Cobain's 1994 death at the age of 27 that the idea of a 27 Club began to catch on in public perception. The most mysterious death, however, is that of the Doors frontman Jim Morrison. The cult of Jim Morrison grew posthumously, taking off in 1979 when Francis Ford Coppola used The End in the soundtrack for Apocalypse Now. Part of Jim's cult was the coincidence of him dying at the same age as Brian, Jimmy, and Janis. The 27 link helped reinforce the idea that Jim had been unique, that his death was fated, that there was something weird going on. The fact that Jim's girlfriend had died at the same age underlined the weirdness of the coincidence. This legend was familiar to everybody interested in popular music by 1994, when Kurt Cobain joined the club. Eric Siegelstad, writer of the 27s, The Greatest Myth of Rock and Roll, assumed that Cobain's mother referred to the death of his two uncles and his great-uncle, all of whom had also committed suicide. According to Charles R. Cross, Hendrix and Cobain's biographer, the events have led a set of conspiracy theorists to suggest the absurd notion that Cobain intentionally timed his death so he could join the 27 Club. In 2011, 17 years after Cobain's death, Amy Winehouse died at the age of 27, prompting a renewed swell of media attention devoted to the club once again. 3 years earlier, she had expressed a fear of dying at that age. There's also a strange myth surrounding the 27 Club, which is that of the white lights. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and Kurt Cobain were all said to have been found dead with a white BIC lighter in their possession. Since then, the white lighter has become an omen lighter among cigarette smokers and stoners all around. However, the myth has been debunked recently because BIC didn't start selling disposable lighters until 1973. Even though this myth has been debunked, it still adds mystery to the 27 Club. Each musician's deaths were all considered suspicious, and some didn't even have an autopsy performed on them. So how did all these great musicians die at such a young age? Did they make a deal with the devil to have him claim their souls at the age of 27? Was it their rock star lifestyles? Was it depression? Some of these musicians even predicted their deaths earlier in life. It's said that Kurt Cobain told a classmate at the age of 14 he'd become a successful musician and go out in a blaze of glory like Jimi Hendrix. Amy Winehouse, like I said earlier, quoted 3 years before her death, saying she believed she would die at a young age and join the 27 Club. Even declared the night before Jim Morrison's death, he was reminiscing through old photographs and he was acting strange. So did these musicians know who or what was coming for them? Or do all of their deaths happen to be a coincidence? The answer? You'll have to find out for yourself. Otherwise, the world may never know.